welcome back to For the Black Child. And today I'm here with
Yande,
Loki,
Gertrude,
and Gisha.
and I'm Irene. Today we're going to be talking about abuse, and obviously that can be abuse within the home or out in the real world. So we're just going to explore. Stay tuned.
That I would say was full of love, there was support, and most children in the community, my friends that I grew up with, were mostly happy. But growing up with my family, there was this conflict of the difference between abuse and discipline, because in an African home, sometimes we do get punished by our parents, like my mom and my dad, for instance. When I do something wrong, they would sometimes use a cane on me. Or
That's it?
Yeah. We used to think, they're not treating us right, it's abuse. If we had the rights, we would talk. But what they were teaching us at that time was that it was discipline, so long as it didn't inflict any serious physical damages on you. So back home as well, when my parents would beat me up because, let's say, I stole meat from the soup without, letting them know, and I get caught. I was a bit conflicted if I was being abused. Did they love me? Is that why they're doing that? Or is it actually discipline? Is that supposed to correct me? Like, will that change me? Will that stop me from doing that? So there was that conflict of if it's love or if it's discipline. But I think growing up, when I did grow up, I tried to understand the difference and to understand their point of view. And I think since I grew up, I don't remember the last time I've been caned with a cane, so I would say, yeah.
I'm guessing you're a girl. I don't think girls get caned a lot.
First of all, that's a lie.
Are you sure?
No, but I think every parent comes to a place where they decide that it's time to stop.
I mean, if it's on the female side, then obviously your mother is going to whoop you back.
Have you met my mother?
Yeah, but that's it.
Why are you trying to say that?
Like you said, mothers. No, I feel like guys are more on the disciplined side, like where they get disciplined a lot. Because obviously, growing up as a guy, you're prone to actually be mischievous.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you're always coming home with different stories, maybe from churches, maybe from the world and everything. So obviously, given the ratio of the whole getting disciplined or abused, I personally feel that it's more on the guy side, even though that might seem biased, because I mean abuse comes in different terms.
Yeah.
And if we're looking in terms of discipline, I feel like guys are more on the disciplined side, like where they get disciplined a lot. Because obviously, growing up as a guy, you're prone to actually be mischievous.
Yeah.
A lot of times, you're always coming home with different stories, maybe from churches, maybe from the world and everything. So obviously, given the ratio of the whole getting disciplined or abused, I personally feel that it's more on the guy side, even though that might seem biased, because I mean abuse comes in different terms.
Yeah.
And if we're looking in terms of discipline, I feel like being a guy, you already at a disadvantage. That everybody sees you out there like, okay, this is just a guy. Whatever I did was just wrong. Let's just cane him. Let's just do this. So some discipline, they might look at it and say that they're showing love, but then it turns out to be abuse, because now you, in the end, pouring your frustration on obviously, the person was disciplining you because obviously for some strange reason, whatever that they're going through. So I mean,
Do you think that's a thing, like where parents are disciplining because
I believe
they're frustrated?
I believe in an African parent, it becomes a thing because there is a certain there's a standard there's a certain extent to when you can discipline a child, and then anything that goes beyond that is no longer discipline. It becomes abuse. But then now you can't tell the difference, because I'm pretty sure each one of us has got a story where obviously
A story.
Story. But at least I had to start with the story, at least, like at least pretty sure there is a story where you have your mother or your father that just comes back and then they're just like, hey, you know what, you did this, you did something in school, and then God knows what would have happened when they went to work, or maybe that day is just a bad day. But then because you did something that requires you to be disciplined, you get disciplined, but then at the same time you end up getting abused because now the person was disciplined.
You can't be mad.
Exactly.
You did something wrong.
You see as a lecturer, now you're confused with that. Okay, was that discipline or
was that abuse? And what is the line between discipline and abuse? Yeah.
That's the thing. It's not really a line.
No, but then I feel like
you never know what the line is, because at the end of the day, the line is intent. You get me? You never know the intent of the person. Maybe your parents came home from a stressful day and then they just want to say, nah, man. This is for my boss. This is for my coworkers. You get me? Just release some stress. Really.
But the question now is that maybe a lot of us Africans would have said we've experienced that bit whilst growing up, but compared to here, would we consider that it has impacted us in a good way or shaped us to be better? Or because here I have a lot of friends here that haven't really, because in school they don't really.
They don't really
You can't touch a child. You can't physically. So when I say physically abuse a child like that or physically discipline a child, so in terms of that, has that really? Would we say it has shaped us to be better whilst growing up, or?
I think yes
to
and
a
no.
certain extent.
To a certain extent, because there's literally kids that were like beaten for a living,
but still,
and they're like
simple things like literally you didn't wash the dishes.
No, that's something. Now you will get your fella. What do you mean? No, I'm talking about like if you accidentally make tea and don't put enough sugar, or you put too much sugar that one time. Like I'm talking about, you're getting cables. Like that's why.
Yeah, I guess
that's
the form of discipline comes in many forms of the tool that they're using to discipline.
The tools, they're creative.
Because they go from a tree branch to cables.
There's also a big factor.
The choice of
the fact that in your mind you think, okay, today I'm going to beat you with this thing because it hurts more. Isn't that's
a bit narcissistic, isn't it? That's a bit evil, isn't it?
But I guess to a certain extent they're trying to inflict pain for you to learn
your lesson.
But then the lesson
that's where Angisha's saying it's the intent, because I don't think some parents do that for you to learn a lesson.
They do because they want you
to just feel.
They want you to feel the pain, but then the pain is supposed to serve as a lesson so that you don't repeat doing those things. But now that's different from being disciplined to getting abused now, because your intent is I'm going to discipline the child. But then, are you really disciplining the child, or you're abusing the child now? Because cables, people.
Cables. I remember when I was 12, I think my parents had stopped beating me by then. But
that's nice.
Mine stopped at 15.
Yeah, 12. At 12, I was fine. I was a good child. But I remember doing something wrong, and because you get into that mindset where your parents are hitting you, they're like, I'm doing this because I love you, and then I remember doing something wrong, and I was like, if only I got beat, this thing would come out of me. It was so bad, but it's
it begins to affect your mindset, your mentality.
Your mentality is programmed to do that, and then even when you are when you do get older and you're hitting your children,
you feel like you're doing it for the
right reason. Because for the right reason, second nature. That becomes a discipline or abuse now. Because now you are sitting there thinking, well, damn.
Yeah, but then I guess that's the fact that you do see the positives of being actually.
Which is a good thing, but I mean, a lot of people will start seeing the positives when that's happening, but then later on, now they're turning around and thinking, was that really necessary? Because now, obviously, the more you grow, the more educated you become,
and I feel as if when you beat your kid, I feel that there's a certain extent where the kid becomes more scared of the parent.
So
you're scared. You're not scared per se of doing the wrong thing. You're scared of your parents beating you. So you get that fear of your parents instead of actually learning a lesson.
Yeah, that's true. But then with African culture, there's no
I don't think there's a thing of you go to your parents and you just talk to them.
You don't.
Like
Yeah,
you
that's
one on one, like you look, Dad, I'm dealing with this with my boyfriend. Where?
Are you married?
My friend.
Bring him.
Bring
Go, my boy. Bring him. I'll talk to him. I'll talk to him as well.
You know? Yeah, but then can you also blame our parents because
From the beginning, they've always known that's the way that they.
Okay, but then here's my thing. What I was thinking about the other day. So if we're all in Africa right now, we're getting raised up the African way, which is if you do something wrong, you get beaten.
Yeah.
That's what we know is the right thing.
Yeah.
Because discipline, that's how we're brought up. That's literally all we know.
Yeah.
Now we come to Australia, and your little friend Jessica says that's abuse, and then now it's like okay. And then you start seeing it from a different
And
perspective.
Jessica gives you the police.
Jessica said if your parents hit you, you can
Call this number.
So
Call
it's
this
like-
number, man.
Now it's like, wait, what? I think like from then you probably start questioning like, is there really a fine line of discipline?
discipline
And
and
abuse.
abuse.
I believe there is. I think it's a good thing that we're now growing up in a Western world where we are now able to sort of see two sides of the coin. Because I mean, growing up in Africa, you only know just one side.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
do something mischievous and get beaten. But then here now you get to say, okay, fine. With these, maybe there are some things that obviously kids would do and all that, and you'll be thinking, okay, if I beat them, would they really learn the lesson? What is one way that I can convey the discipline that they can feel the pinch and learn the lesson? So I think the fact that now we are in this environment where we are more aware now that okay, there is a fine line of discipline and abuse, and we have to literally judge and put everything into perspective that when we're disciplining, let's do this so that we can achieve an objective or a goal that we need to teach a lesson, we need to do this. Instead of just obviously repeating where parents back in the day, they just know once a child is mischievous, beat the hell out of them.
Just
That
beat.
kind of thing. Just beat. It doesn't matter.
But then again,
How
they're
to
doing
do
that out of love, though.
Yeah, that's all they know. That's all they know. That's all they know.
And I agree that that's all that they know, which is why I'm saying for this is a good opportunity
For us
to now judge and say, okay, fine, when we're doing this out of love. Let's avoid ourselves from doing certain things and say, oh, it's due to love, it's because we love it. Because now that love now is being disguised once you're abusing.
Once you're abusing some. So there's some things though, like what
Irene was saying, the whole situation of you made my tea and you didn't put enough sugar in it.
Or like some little things.
That's just abusive, man. That's abusive.
Or like if you're a teenager, you're just going through your hormones and you just don't feel like talking to nobody. You get hit.
whooped for no
It's like,
reason.
come on. If you talk too much, you get hit.
Yeah.
What do you want?
That's mental.
But I guess the question is, like, say our generation now. Like, obviously, we've grown up here. We've got the Western perspective. We've got the African perspective. Like, how do you guys think what kind of parents do you guys think will be?
I personally think getting both perspectives has come to help a long way because now we can compare. Although we went through that, is that what we would want for our kids?
Yeah.
So in that aspect, we've come to understand the difference between that there are other forms of discipline, not just the physical, beating here and there.
Yeah.
We've come to realize that you can discipline your child without necessarily inflicting pain or abusing. You can punish a child differently. Look him up in the room, maybe.
Sorry.
That's
You have homework to do, make them do something else. But definitely not the physical.
But then to be fair though, when I see other kids, say for example kids from different cultures or Australian kids, I just feel like
you're missing a good beating.
because there's some forms of maybe it's because of how we've been taught. We've been taught this is how you talk to older people. We have different values, and I think the way that they discipline their children doesn't seem to be giving them the results that they want.
I think a lot of white parents are just a bit nonchalant in the I said nonchalant. Anyway. I said nonchalant. Nonchalant is a bit relaxed. A bit. Thank you.
Where did you learn from my dad?
Alright, back of syrup. Anyway,
That's the new word I picked up today.
I think they just sometimes it feels like they just don't care about what their kids do.
Yeah.
So I feel as if without you can discipline your child in a way where you don't need to beat them. You just teach them good values and morals where they don't have to disrespect elders and stuff. Because I see a lot of kids just disrespect elders because their parents won't do anything. They know their parents won't do anything. So if you give them those values at a young age, then why should you have to beat them again?
That's true.
I feel like with that, because we follow the notion from our parents and their parents' that they grew up with that says, spoil the child and spare the rod. So they feel like you need to do that. So that's their perspective. So we have to grow out of that and educate ourselves, and hopefully that would get into our.
But then for
future
some kids
generations
though,
as
they
well.
might be acting out simply because they don't feel like they're loved enough. You know,
Attention.
they want
They need
attention. You know, they want you to look at them. You know,
If African parents don't do them things there.
they don't,
It's like, if I'm feeding you, there's a roof over your head. That's enough attention.
That's
all the attention you need.
I get back to
love,
you.
man. That's
I
love.
carry you for 9 months.
That's love.
That's the funny thing. You don't see African parents really having conversations with their kids when they're younger.
Well,
No,
that's true though.
Like one of those. It was a affirmation.
Conversation.
It's okay.
You want me to converse with my kids? Are you my friend?
That's true.
True.
Being abused affects us, like the outside world. So if you're being abused at home and you do go to school, like how does that affect your self-esteem? Like, and it is true. Some people who are being abused at home, or if their parents are too strict, let's use the word strict at home, and they go out, either they turn out to be, they want to show off to their friends, or they want to show off like they're better or they're bigger, and they become bullies.
That's
Others
true.
too, I would say it actually affects them, and then it kills their
Their
self-esteem,
self-esteem.
and they end up being bullied as well when they go out. So
that's interesting.
with that,
Well, I guess it brings up very good children in front of their parents.
Yeah.
But when the kids are in front of their friends, sometimes they just do whatever they want as long as my parents won't see me. You know, like it's easy to
It's like living a double life.
you live a double life. It's
Yeah.
easy to pretend because with your friends you're
The cool guy.
you know.
and African parents, let me tell you,
Yeah.
when their visitors around,
Hey.
and you're doing something wrong, let's say,
So what about looking
And that's
at
look. Is that the look? And that
It's
beauty.
honestly-
It's just the look. And it's beauty. No, it's only the atmosphere.
When you're going home after you've been at church and you've done something wrong.
Yeah, that's why
When we get
you can
home,
smell the
Wait.
beauty, bro.
and they even wait longer. They let you have
They
dinner. They let you think that it's okay.
They've forgotten. They've forgotten.
I
You go to sleep.
used to, I'm like, good night, Dad. I'm going to do my homework.
You set your record. I'm sure.
Yande, pack your bags, come here.
Pack your bag.
Why pack your bags?
No, that's like pack your homework bags. Isn't it?
Oh.
You have to. You have to.
I said, sorry.
Damn, bro. That was harsh on you. That was harsh on you, man. You make you leave the house every time you go, what?
Nah,
That's
man.
rough.
But yeah.
Was there also a different time? I feel like I knew when I was gonna get beaten.
Yeah, you
Oh,
The
could
way they called me would be very different. I said, yeah.
and
It's happening.
you could see eyes as well.
Oh yeah.
You know when you look back and you know that you
You
did.
know you're gonna get it. Like, right.
For me,
Yeah.
I always knew that I was gonna get a beating if there was a Bible in front of them when they called me.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I just took the Bible with it. Like it's either Bible study or a beating. You get it? But if you're called individually,
Most likely it's not Bible study.
I don't know if we're gonna have a private prayer session, mate. I don't think so. Yeah, just know that. Read Proverbs 31 verse 5.
Yes, they do that.
A young child must respect his parents and before he gets beaten. Okay, so what is that? Before you finish speaking, my guy.
Finish the sentence.
sometimes the words are actually can hurt more than
They do.
actually.
No, I think they do it. Like,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Words.
No, can they?
They
Yeah.
Man, I remember that my dad, like, I think for me, I don't think my parents have ever been verbally abusive. I know that my parents have never been verbally abusive towards me. Yeah, so then they always encourage us, they always grow us, I don't know about you, but like.
Okay, you got it.
I was making myself VIP treatment. No, but for me, I remember distinctively, it wasn't the words that my parents used to tell me. It was the words that I was facing outside. So then I would get bullied a lot at school. So then like when I came home, I'd be crying. And I'd be like, nobody likes me, and I would put it on myself because of my personality type. Nobody likes me because they like I'm not cool enough and I'm not good enough for them, and like this is what I deal with, and like no, it's because I'm not good enough. And I remember my dad, he beat me for saying I'm not good enough. Because he couldn't allow me
to think
that.
Yeah.
So he was like, look, you are good enough, and saying stupidity like that. Because it's like for them, that's how he could reflect his love. It's like, what is this in you?
Get it out of me. Get it out.
Wait, I remember like I got beaten for saying I hate you one time.
You what?
I was like,
Say it again.
I was so mad, bro. I hate you and
You said you hate me.
Yeah, bro.
What did you do to him? What did you do to him?
I was the legend of the house now.
You were the big right. Nah, but yeah, like I just said some cheeky stuff. Yeah, like along those lines.
Yeah.
So I think I was beaten for having that mentality as well.
So they wouldn't allow certain mentalities to
Yeah,
enter
so
them.
To be honest, verbal abuse can really affect like your mentality even for a very long time.
Yeah.
I remember sometimes my mom, like I'll do something, my mom would say something that happened like even till now, like sometimes she goes back. It's like they never forget. African parents say, she's like, remember that time you did this? Like that time you did that, and then you did that. And then I'm like, I even forgot about it.
Wow.
But then you keep bringing it up. It makes me,
it's like they accumulate it on top of everything.
Exactly.
It's like because you did this and
that's
now
why.
Now this is not becomes
Yeah,
a thing. Now they feel like they just
Or you don't want your parents. Oh, I think I'd rather you beat me until I can't breathe. Rather than not like
Wait.
Can we base that on anger though? Like, because sometimes people do say those words.
No, I mean
not
like,
just our parents, but people or friends that when they verbally abuse us, can we always say maybe they're angry, that's why they say that, and later on when they come back and they say sorry.
but some of the parents don't really apologize.
They don't
My
parents never apologize.
My parents
Sometimes-
don't
mom
apologize.
My mom is not apologizing. It's like, because I'm happy, I'm like,
That's not an apology.
There's a point where I think it's just about the maturity of the parents themselves.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the parents and the parents, that's true. But the thing is, like, it's about the maturity of the parent themselves to say that I have to be the bigger man. I'm the parent in the situation. I can't hold a grudge on my kid. Or make my kid feel that way. So, like, for me, personally, there was a time where I got my mom really vexed, and then I don't know, she just said something, but like it wasn't that deep to me, And then later she's like, "Oh, Anisha, I really shouldn't have talked to you that way."
Aww.
That's nice. I would like to experience that one day.
And even dad, when he's apologizing,
Yeah.
he'll call you in the office looking so
Like this. Well,
what happened?
And he always has a Bible in front of him.
Yeah.
Oh wow! So he beats you with a Bible and he apologizes with a Bible.
It's always based on the word of God.
Exactly. The word of God first.
No, but what's the meaning of modern beating? For sure.
My mom will be like, "Come, let's pray about it."
We need to pray about this situation.
God will forgive us.
Causing a rift after I whooped you.
I think as well, like words hurt, but the lack of words as well. Is a big factor in African
sometimes
household.
you need to hear certain
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Because I think when you get verbally abused, there's sometimes where you become numb to some words.
Yeah.
But then when that silence comes in, now you're confused that they didn't say anything. Am I even worthy to be even yelled at? You start feeling as if like you're invalid, like you're not worth for someone to say something to you.
But do you think sometimes African parents always resort to not just verbal but physical abuse and then don't actually affirm their kids? So then it's like you're always hitting your child, but you're not affirming your child and telling them how they're valuable, what they're good at.
True.
You're not giving them that. So when you hit them, it's like this is all.
That's it.
That's it.
Like, this is it.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking you could do this on the wrong.
Yeah. And
I
there's
think for
nothing
the
like
older
nothing
generation, like what we were saying before, they did not know better in a way. And at the same time, they just did what they knew, which is probably something
They didn't
carried
receive
over.
that.
Yeah,
So all these things are obviously something that is quite new, and we know even if you have to sit down and talk to them about it, like, hey, don't you think when you're doing these things, it sort of hurt me and made me feel
What
this
do
way?
you know?
Yeah.
To them, you're
Yeah.
actually opening up another chapter that they don't even know how to process.
Wow.